And welcome in, Jims and Jimettes, to another exciting edition of No Substitute for Sports. He's back, baby. Don't worry. I'm your host, Nick Johnston. This is episode number 26 on the agenda. And no, Britney Spears doesn't deserve courtside seats over this Wembanyama ordeal. This isn't 2003 anymore. Avril Lavigne was better anyways. Sorry, not sorry. Thank you, as always, for tuning in to No Substitute for Sports on the Degenerates Network YouTube page. If you're just stumbling upon us, hit that subscribe button only after you hit the like button on this video. Maybe share us around, tell your friends, tell your mail carrier. They always need something to listen to on their route, so I don't know, maybe they'll stop bending all your packages afterward. Like I said, just recommend it. It's nothing. What's the worst that can happen? You can follow us on Twitter at Degenerates. And every Friday at 1 p.m. Central, I go live on twitch.tv/SportsTownShy for No Substitute for Sports. Live, cleaning up anything we don't get to here, and just, I don't know, anything, any other possible breaking news that goes on throughout the week. Either way, check us out anywhere, everywhere. Thank you very much. Thank you again. Plenty to get into today. Got a little summer league talk, I suppose, reacting to reactions from Victor Wembanyama's performance, the overreactions, underreactions from everything, from the summer league games, and also some thoughts on the Britney Spears nonsense that went on. Next, we got I got three midway predictions for the MLB. Now that we're going to be wrapping up All-Star Week festivities. Got the All-Star game going on right now. Commercial break after Yandy Diaz just went deep. We'll set up for after that. We'll be setting up for the NFL divisions talk for the next couple of weeks on this broadcast, on this nice little podcast. So that'll be fun. Finally, wrestling galore with an AEW Fight Forever review, thoughts on Logan Paul breaking kayfabe, and Matt Hardy's a heated exchange with Jim Cornette and his podcast host. All that, tons more in between. But before we get underway, and before it sounds like I'm completely out of breath, let me introduce to you my friend and co-host, the founder and CEO of Fat Cat _streams. That's with a Z. It's Mikey J. Fat Cat. How you doing tonight? Welcome back.
I'm great, man. Yeah, take a breath, Excalibur. I'm doing good. Took a little break for 4th of July. The family was over at the apartment. We were all hanging out watching Breaking Bad. Our parents are seeing that for the first time, so it's been awesome watching that with them. And
Yeah,
yeah, it's been a good day and excited to be back here, man. How about you?
pretty solid day actually. When I went to class, got a big, huge announcement just on my end. Very fortunate, and a huge thank you to the Jacobsons family that allowed this to even happen. I received a scholarship, so basically a full ride of the Illinois Media School is getting paid for from their side. So I mean, I couldn't be any more thankful. This is we submitted for basically for that. I mean, it was under sad circumstances that we even got the scholarship in the first place. A former student and instructor at Illinois Media School passed away, and the family was like, what can we do? We want to pay something forward. He really loved the school, so we wanted to pay for something to the students. So, like I said, very grateful. That was huge news, and I've been, like I said, just everything's going to be going towards the school and everything else in between that. So I've been bouncing off the walls. I've had basically in a state of
As
shock
you
just about
should,
all
man.
day. This has been a nutso day. So it's been great. It's been great. Haven't had a feeling like this in a long time. So I can't, like I said,
It's
very
awesome,
grateful.
man.
Very
I'll
grateful.
tell
Very
you
grateful.
what, it's going to happen to a better person. I
I
know from
appreciate that.
firsthand you work your ass off day and night and you really work hard for what you like and you've been working at this for a while, man. So I'm glad that you got this. This was a great news when you told me just before this started, but it's awesome, man. You deserve it.
Thank you. I thank you. I again truly appreciate it. I don't want to get all teared up, choked up, or nothing like that. So, like I said, just truly grateful. Again, thank you for that, and then just thank you to the Jacobson family. Like I said, I feel like I can't say enough to just to. I mean, I got to come in contact with them. Like I even met them today, and I feel like even just shaking their hands and saying thank you wasn't enough. Like
Yeah,
this is crazy. So.
it's awesome.
I'll take the time, and I'll have to do something like that. So yeah, that's basically been my day. We got tons and tons of stuff to get into. I know we're having tons of fun over here. Uh Bad transition, I suppose, into some appetizers, unless you had anything else on the agenda to get into really quick.
I'm all good, man. We can jump into it.
Awesome possum. Awesome possum. Um yeah, like I said, just some quick appetizers on the day before we dive into the sports, the wrestling, everything else in between. I went ahead and watched. You were wrapping up some Breaking Bad with the family. I watched the American Gladiators documentary over on Netflix, and I wanted to
Hmm.
give my thoughts, maybe a 2 minute review. So that's exactly what I want. I'm gonna put 2 minutes on the clock, and I'm gonna maybe start something new on here. A 2 minute review. 2 minute review starting right now. I have nothing written down, nothing exactly about this. This was five part series, and they're ranging from like 45 minutes to 30 minutes. So pretty, it keeps your attention, keeps you going. And I was one of those kids that I caught the reboot of American Gladiators with Hulk Hogan, and basically it was along the same line. So uh, they really dove into how the show started, bare bones, just an idea that was floating around. It's like, hey, just a bunch of games and all that stuff. You meet all the essentially they're drug addicts. For lack of
Hmm.
better, they're drug addicts. They're addicted to steroids. They're doing cocaine. It's the '80s. I'm not gonna sit here and judge that, but like I said, they're just drug addicts. But they're funny. They're fun. They're gladiators, and that's what they thought. They were gonna ride this out, have this big time show for the rest of their career, and little did they know that a lot of them, while they had the personality and all that it was cracked up to be, an athlete and all sorts of sides, uh, all these Ice and Zap and Gemini, these big names. They're all bodybuilders and stuff like that, and they feel like they're the stars of the show. But it later turns out, as the show goes on, people getting injured and the production just the producers not caring. They find out that it's the show is they want the producers want the show to be the star, that the gladiators are interchangeable, expendable, and that's always it always changes. But with the show being such a success, the gladiators felt like they were screwed out of tons and tons of money throughout merchandise. So again, they felt like they were screwed out a bunch of things. Coming up on 15 seconds. Uh, what else? Wanted money, didn't get enough money, protested, didn't get enough in. So some of the original gladiators felt like they got screwed out or forced out of their place a little too early. That is my
Whoa.
time. That is my time. That is my time. 2 minutes for American Gladiators. Hopefully I got to enough. Like, let me see, wrapping up really quick. It was good. Like I said, the only thing with the people that you meet, like you meet all the original gladiators, none of them are really likable, other than the one that gets married to the sergeant that they end up working out with at the beginning, that trains them all. So overall, quick grade, 6.5 out of 10 on documentaries. Like it maybe five, a six or a
Wow.
five. I'd be a little generous. Like I said, it was fun for what it's worth. Rewatchable. I don't know. I know I extended into it, but that's my 2 minute review. 2 minutes on the clock for American Gladiators documentary. Yeah, it was fine. It was fun. Oh, does
Hell
that
yeah.
did that convince you? Did you got any thoughts? Does the American Gladiators mean anything to you?
I honestly have no idea what they are, what that is. And
Wow.
I might be in the
Okay.
minority, but yeah, I've never seen. Is that like a show or was that
So
a
it was a show
show?
back in the day. I could have also like broke that down, but I assumed that being that it was a documentary, I figured that enough people would, they also assumed that too, that it was such a big show and it beat the NFL in ratings at one
Well,
point.
I got the gist that it was a show, but like, what was it about?
So it was a competition where a competitor, a basic, a normal guy like myself or you would go up and try and win these games. Like they would take a ball and throw it into a basket, not basketball, but put it into a giant bucket. Like essentially what games we would play in gym class. But there was giant bodybuilders that would try and defend you and just mess your
What?
day up. And they were called the gladiators, and they would be interchangeable, 3 men and 3 women. They would joust. uh Yeah, that was like the thing. They would stand up high on like a 15-foot platform, very small in diameter, and that was one of their big games. So
Oh my
that
God.
that I mean that was basically, the what American Gladiators came to be turned into. There wouldn't be like a Ninja Warrior, American Ninja Warrior, Wipeout, maybe even stuff like that. Like it was basically just the skeleton, the exoskeleton of what other competition shows would later come to be. So it was a
Okay.
pioneer for what it's worth. It reestablished in mid 2000s. I was a kid. I remember being a kid, maybe like early 2010s, maybe even a little bit. No, maybe, I don't know. It was around there. I can't remember. Like I said, Hulk Hogan kind of restarted it with the American Gladiators again, and it's just a competition show. These big yoked men and women would attack the younger Joes, and like I don't know, different competitions, different points. They're all for money. There you go. Way over 2 minutes. But like, it was cool. Like I said, a lot of insight, a lot of fun stuff on that. Check it out. Check out the actual show. I hope it's probably streaming on something. The original American Gladiators toys at like flea markets and stuff. They always resell for pretty good. So check your eBay. There you go.
Check for see if I have any figures lying around.
There you go. Take a look. Quick one. We got Prime, a Logan Paul. We'll see, and we'll be checking in with him before early and in the end of the show. Prime versus the FDA. No real detail on this other than I just whatever all the memes and everything else has been posting up on about. It's got six times the amount of caffeine as a can of Coke. I I think I've had a sip of Prime. I'm still a Mountain Dew kind of guy that we represent over here. Hey, pay me, please. Come on.
We
I'll
do
do
the do
anything.
here.
I'll do anything. I swear. I'll jump over a shark.
He's
Russell,
not
what
lying.
they did it in a fake commercial. I'll do it in real life. I don't care. But Prime versus the FDA. Is it evil of me to want to want Logan Paul to fall? But I mean, a lot of people want to. If it's not safe, it's not safe. I'm not a doctor. I got really nothing on this. It's just I thought it was funny, and just of
Yeah.
course more and more of a character issue on Logan Paul, as he's not going to get it. Like, how is he in the WWE? You've said this. It's irritating. How does
Yeah.
this keep happening?
Like this guy's had so many issues in the past. When I saw this, I wasn't even surprised. I
It's
was like, "Oh,
bulletproof. I don't
he
know how.
did something else bad." I was like, "Well, of course he did."
Yeah, that rap sheet is turned into a CVS receipt. It's getting pretty long.
And they
Uh,
just got sponsored by UFC too. It's like
oh,
the new,
that's
it's one
right.
of the new
Yeah.
official drinks of the UFC.
That's probably what made the FDA feel like, yeah, you know what? Maybe let's look into that bottle of just pure sugar cane. I don't even know. I don't even know what's going on. There's barely any water in it.
Yeah, I guess that's one of the main things that I was reading. It's like they're trying to promote to kids like 18 and younger, but like they should not be drinking this because of how much sugar or
Oh
caffeine
my
it has.
lord.
So yeah,
Hey,
just
but
not
it's
good.
it's bright and colorful and it catches the eye. It's either bright pink or bright red. It looks like the American flag sometimes. Most time I've seen it. Then wasn't it going for like $100 a bottle overseas or something like
Yeah, we were talking about that today. There's like in Europe it was selling for like $70 or some shit.
that? That is redonkulous. That is absolutely insane that the secondary market can just that'll happen over there. I no idea. That's good luck. Good luck, everybody. I don't I don't know. Like I said, I'm sticking with
I've
this.
never had a Prime ever, so I
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I think our buddy Alan gave me a sip one time. I'm like, it was really sweet, so I can understand where they're getting the idea.
mm,
Yeah, from firsthand experience. If you're good on that, we can wrap up the appetizers with one more quick little ditty.
yeah.
We got Slam Ball. We talked about this a couple weeks prior when it first broke wind. But Slam Ball officially set July 21st, ESPN. How unfortunately, it is the same day as we're gonna go see Oppenheimer. So we will not. I'm gonna have to catch it on your DVR. I'm gonna set it up for sure. I don't know who's playing. I don't know who when it's going on, but
Oh, I'm watching that for sure.
yeah, I'll be playing it back as soon as we get back from Oppenheimer. That's the first thing I'm plopping in is playing back some slam ball. Just enjoy the rest of the night. So that'd be great. Speaking of Oppenheimer, did you see that thing I sent you between Oppenheimer and Barbie? Ticket sale, the same day ticket sales, 20,000 tickets sold for the same day for the same viewership. It doesn't. Why would you want to go see? And in the same order, we were saying this. I'm kind of all over the place. Oppenheimer, for those who don't know, it's gonna be a 3 hour long movie. And then on top of that, what Barbie's gonna be another hour and a half, 2 hours, most likely. I didn't see the runtime on that. Why would this yeah, that background is phenomenal. I hope that it comes up in our thumbnail. So otherwise, I'm gonna have to make that it officially. Again, we talked about this extensively offline on our on the games or just in person. Like, why would you want to put yourself through 3 hours of Oppenheimer and then just back to back do it again, do something else, and not be able to talk about both for another 5 hours? I don't know. If it seems crazy, seems like the memes are getting to a lot of people's heads. I don't know, but what were your thoughts on people going back to back on Oppenheimer and Barbie?
Yeah, it's the memes are definitely getting to people's heads, but yeah, I just like you were saying, I don't want to see two movies in one day. I want to be able to see one, digest it, think about it, talk about it. If you're seeing two movies, you're just like mixing up. I don't know. Just feel like you're probably not gonna get confused between what happened in Barbie and Oppenheimer, but it's just
Yeah.
like,
And then Albert Einstein pulled up to Barbie's house and then she pulled the like lever and then that killed I don't know what happened, man. It was all a
oh.
fever dream.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I would just me personally, I wouldn't see two movies in one day like that. I see like a bunch of people are doing it, and I guess all two of them, the main actor in Oppenheimer, I think his name's like I don't want to butcher his name. I think it's like Killian Murphy or something like that, but
Yeah.
he was saying like he's thinks it's cool. He was like, people are going to be spending their whole days at the cinema. What's wrong with
Yeah, no,
that? So
that's
I go,
exactly what I was thinking. It's a plus for anyone that's working at the movie theater that day. More ticket sales, more popcorn sales, everything else. Keep the movies in business.
yeah.
I'm an avid movie guy. We both are, like I said, and this whole thing is like we want to see it in IMAX. It's not going to compare to sitting down and seeing movies at your house. You got to pick and choose with that. There's going to be movies you need to go see in theater, and then there's movies like I'm not going to waste $15 on that. I'll wait till it's streaming, or I'll just pay $4 and just watch it same day or whatever.
100%.
Yeah, exactly. You got to pick and choose. And like again, the people that are arguing like movie theaters are dead, nah, it's just not true.
No.
Again, we got the tons and tons of things are popping up every which way. You got
Yeah.
to know. Yeah, movies are still there.
I'll say we
Quality
got
isn't there, but movies are
yeah.
there.
We got our tickets for Oppenheimer like not too long ago, and it's either like when we got them, the movie still wasn't coming out for like 2 weeks, and the theater was packed. Like it's people want to see,
Yeah, no, this
people
is
want to
hype.
see stuff.
This is one of the hype ones for sure of the summer, along with a couple other things. But these two very much so make sense. Yeah, this. But again, on on the side of seeing them back to back on the same day, bonkos. Oh Jesus. That's the appetizers. I think that's a nice little way to wrap that bad boy up. Oh boy.
We'll be shaking in the theater for Oppenheimer.
Yes, absolutely.
If you're seeing Barbie, enjoy it.
Enjoy it.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, I got nothing to you. Uh, let's see. If you're good on those appetizers, hopefully you didn't fill up on bread. We got some sports to get into.
I usually
NBA.
do, but yeah, let's.
Put the butter down. Wembanyama on the summer league. We got some Wembanyama drama
Hmm.
and anything else. Maybe some other key free agency moves. I honestly don't think anybody else moves. So honestly, we'll just be talking about some Wembanyama, just reactions to everyone's reaction to his first game. It was a stinker. It was a stinker. And he even admitted it himself. He said the quote going around was straight up, and it wasn't from Ballsack Sports. It was from him. It was, I didn't know what was going on or whatever. Hopefully,
Yeah,
again.
that's it. Yeah.
And it makes sense. Like at times he did look very hesitant shooting. He was they were kind of just leaving him open for three, a mixture of maybe they didn't know his game, or they were just like, hey, let him have it, let him overthink it, some type of style. Like, are you even going to jump up and block a 7'5" release? I mean, it's even going to be higher than that. Regardless, yes. So 9 points, made up for it with a couple rebounds and a couple blocks. So that brought up like, oh, Kristaps Porzingis and Wembanyama are the same. How are they different? But later in the second game, dropping 27, 12, a couple more blocks, a couple more assists. He showed that he got comfortable, and it just took a matter of time. I wish I could prove it, but there's no way. I did want to. I didn't overreact. I swear I did. I wasn't one of those people that immediately tweeted after watching one summer league game that they immediately knew that this kid was going to be a bust, or he wasn't worth the first overall pick. No, like I said, I wish I could prove that, but just got to take my word for it that I didn't overreact. I wasn't the one that was going around like just knowing this guy's future based off of one summer league game. But I digress. Any thoughts? Any lingering things? Just just anything that you're reacting to when it came to him? Do you think he's legit, or were you on the side of hey, we got to just pump the brakes?
Oh, he can be legit for sure. I mean, again, it's only the summer league, so but I mean, yeah, it's gonna be fun, and the NBA is gonna be very interesting this season because I mean, I remember seeing clips of like him and Chet Holmgren and like all these guys like back in the day, and it's like these are the guys of the future when they're drafted. It's not like they're all in the league, and it's gonna be exciting to see how they all do and when the season actually starts. But because this is only the summer league. And he had one bad game and he had one good game, so it's just like they offset and they shut him down now for the rest of the summer league. So you're not going to see any more of him
Oh, really?
until the
Actually
season
did not know
starts.
that. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So,
A little bit of a tease.
yeah, basically. But you know, I'll be excited to see how he does when it actually starts. I think he has a lot of potential for sure. I mean, look at how he's built and his wingspan, his height. I mean, everything about him. He can shoot threes and
Yeah,
play down low. I mean,
yeah, I think that's a really this obviously wasn't what you were alluding to, but some people are just on the side of like, oh, he's just not built. He's not built enough. That can
neither was
change.
Giannis when
Yeah,
he
people
first
can
got
get into the weight
drafted.
room. That can change. Like,
Look up a picture of Giannis as a rookie. He's like as skinny as me.
yeah,
And
exactly.
now
Like,
and Giannis is now one of
he's
the like
yoked.
the best players in the league.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he looks like a defensive lineman. Like, it's insane. I mean, just the idea, like, oh, he's too small.
I
Anyone
mean,
can get into the
yeah,
weight room.
dude. Yeah, my dude, he's like young as hell. Like
Yeah,
it's like
he's what, 19? Like, yeah.
yeah.
And they're over in France. They eat like they don't eat the disgusting food that we
Yeah,
have
they
over
eat
here.
croissant. They're not eating.
They got good shit and they smoke like real cigarettes. So like they got the good stuff. I can't say that for sure. They put like poutine and weird shit. Ugh.
Oh,
Yeah.
mm,
Uh, where was I? Again, yeah, just the idea that he's too small. That's not gonna he's not gonna get smaller. He's 7'5". He's gonna get stronger. He'll get on a workout regimen, I'm sure. It's not gonna change. He's not gonna be world class MVP overnight, and especially on the
no.
Spurs. He's gonna need some help. He's gonna need some experience, and then as long as he just keeps it right, and all things are health wise all good, he's gonna be fine. He's gonna be. I think he's gonna live up to the expectation. It might be a little bit less than number one since LeBron. I can't sit here and tell
Yeah.
you 5 championships and X amount of MVPs, but the talent is there. The talent, it's undeniable that when you see him, he knows what he's doing. It was definitely just a confidence thing. He just needed to get his reps underneath him, get his feet underneath him. And sure enough, like I said, between the blocks, he made up for it on different ends. Scoring will come and go. He's gonna score, and it's
And
just it's going to come down
he
to
couldn't
reps.
be in like a better situation. I mean, I feel like he got drafted to the best team possible, and now he's gonna have a coach like Greg Popovich with him, and they've
And he
already
just
dealt.
signed an extension for 5 years, so
Yeah.
they got a good play. They think they got a good little bit play little idea of what they want to do
Oh, I bet
franchise
that
wise.
definitely incentivized Pop too. Once they drafted him, it's like, oh, well, I'm staying now. Like, and they've drafted international players in the past. Like, there's already been pictures of like him and like Tony
Ginobili, him
Parker
and
and
Parker.
Ginobili, yeah, like already getting together and it's like looking over plays and stuff. I mean, like he's
I
gonna
did
be
like
in a
that
great
one picture.
spot.
It was Wembanyama, Tim Duncan, Parker, Ginobili, or just all the San Antonio stars, and it was just like you're when someone's 6 foot and everybody else. Just making that comparison. But yeah, obviously these are just giant grown men
Oh
just
yeah,
walking around, and he makes them look even smaller, even though they're Tim Duncan's 7 foot. He just made him look
yeah,
like a little kid. It was crazy. I always thought that was crazy too when Yao Ming stood next to Shaq. I was just like, he looks like a baby.
that is
He made Shaq
crazy.
look like
Yeah,
a baby. That's crazy.
that's a crazy picture.
Yeah. So again, the overreactions have been funny. The just people that have just been standing back. I'm sure they'll the people that already tweeted, they were like, yeah, this, that, the other. You're all laughing now, but they'll be fine. They'll keep their nose up high, and when he actually ends up being okay. Yeah, I think all is going to be well for Wembanyama. The only lingering issue, I suppose, is can he handle the celebrity spotlight? Have you heard about this? Have you seen this? The dealing with this whole Britney Spears thing. I feel like I've been going first on a lot of this stuff, so I just want to get your initial thoughts before I go off. Maybe I don't want to go off and go too crazy on this. So, what were your thoughts on this whole thing? Did you see the video? Did you see
Yeah,
everything? Okay, so
yeah, it's
feel
dumb as
free.
hell.
Feel free.
It's been made a whole big. They made a big thing out of nothing. It's a whole big nothing burger, is what it is. You want me to lock? Yeah. She's complaining. They barely touched her. They're just doing their job because she goes up and let me lava, like grabbing his back. Like at this, they don't know who the fuck you are in that moment. He just went like this. Like he didn't even try to slap her. Like, he just was like, get out of the way. They're trying to make this whole thing like, oh, I got assaulted by security for trying to get Wembanyama's intention. Like, fuck you.
Yes, that was
When you
basically it.
were irrelevant 20 years ago, Britney Spears. Like, sorry.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of how it all went down. I don't like the hate the Britney Spears fandom is coming down on Wemby and his security team, who is doing their job, doing exactly what they should have been doing. He was protecting the number one prospect since LeBron James, as everybody else has been saying. So, I applaud that security guard. No, he
Yeah.
did not mean to hit her in the face. I'm not gonna sit there and say he meant to. He wasn't going to. Assault on either end is that all charges were dropped. There's nothing filed against him. So that's why I
Yeah,
feel
which just
confident in
shows that
saying,
it's yeah.
yeah, that it was all nothing. It was a complete overreaction to nothing. If truly, if Britney Spears was one, relevant enough, or two, had a brain cell left in her head, could have contacted her team to contact Wembanyama's manager. If they truly wanted to meet, they could have met that way, like, the proper way celebrities would most likely meet. I don't know, not a celebrity, but I'm assuming you don't just tap on somebody when they're already getting followed by a giant security team. Like you said, that person doesn't know who that is. Based on look, it's not their job to know who Britney Spears is. Their job
Yeah.
is to protect Wembanyama. They did that. Congratulations. So, yes, I mean, to those people, to the fans that are overreacting and thinking that she deserves something, you're out of your mind. You're
Yeah.
out of
It's
your mind. There's all those words. The entitlement is beyond, like the idea that Britney Spears deserves courtside seats for this. No, she should be in jail. She should be in jail. That's an overreaction, but no, just the idea. It's I didn't
and,
like this.
and you're gonna die on a hill for Britney Spears.
Thank you. Yes. Like she would again, crazy as all can be. She's got her issues, the whole thing with her dad, but maybe her dad was right. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. Well, I mean, there's all sorts of things that are going on with this. She got some issues, dude. But
Oh yeah.
again, again, to sit here and to say, yeah, the security guard meant to hit her. The security guard knew who she was right away in the dark and could decipher that blonde chick from another blonde chick in Las Vegas. Makes no sense. Makes absolutely no sense. You again exactly that. You're in Las Vegas. You're getting run around, and you're guarding, you're protecting the number one prospect since LeBron James. You're on high alert. Essentially, you're on the
Yeah.
same thing of like you're in the same headspace of like what a cop would be like. You need to be at all times. You need to know your senses are heightened to like the maximum. Everything's not everything is a danger, but there's threats. There's threats everywhere. There's potential threats everywhere. So again, can't say it enough. Good job for that security team. To the Britney fans, everyone, leave Britney alone. Leave her alone. That's fine. You fans, leave Wembanyama alone because you've been following that video of people following him after the game and everything like that. Are you gonna apologize? Are you gonna say sorry to Britney? Shove it up your ass, dude. No, that one guy trying to be a white knight. I love that. It was just like this is what a feminist looks like. It was just some old dude with like a bald old dude. Again, just some regular stock photo. But that's exactly who I thought of when that voice came up to be. So insane. People are insane. Relax. Wembanyama, yeah, it just
Yeah,
I
just
can't
chill
believe
out.
I couldn't believe that the most exciting part of free agency so far has been Britney Spears related, and it's 2023. Could not believe that was an
Wow.
actual thing. An actual thing.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, wow. That doesn't make any
I
sense.
mean, the most exciting until we get some sort of actual big trade from Lillard going somewhere, Levine
Yeah,
going somewhere, or what's another name I'm missing out on? Lillard, Levine,
I feel like that's really
Harden.
it,
James
right?
Harden might be
Oh
going somewhere
yeah.
too. So just keeping an eye on those three, but those
Nothing else
nothing's
has
been going
really
on.
happened. Everyone is either signed with their own respective teams, or the only really big thing was the Suns getting Bradley Beal and Chris Paul
Yeah, that was
going to the
forever
Warriors.
ago now. That was a month.
Yeah,
That
so
was
we've
essentially
already
three
talked
weeks
about
ago. That
all
could have
that
been that
stuff.
might as well have been 10 years ago. So that's how the sports world rolls on. Yeah, if we're going on basically everything else, summer league wise, Wembanyama wise, and free agency wise, we can move on to some MLB. We got, like I said, the
Yeah.
All-Star game currently going on. One to
Mm.
one to one in the oh bottom of the fourth. Shohei Ohtani on deck. There we go. I just want to get some. I got three bold predictions just to make things exciting, make things just like I said, nothing ideas I'm not married to necessarily, but yeah, I just want to get some things off my chest, and then but I think I want to go over the what's just fresh in my brain, the home run derby, just thoughts on the celebrity game, maybe if you got some highlights from that, and then I mean nothing too crazy from this All-Star game so far, pending it being an 11-10 shootout, in the next couple of innings, or I don't want to, I'm not even going to say the next one, or like just a walk off in the top of the 10th, pending one of those things. We'll probably end up missing it just because we have to look back, but it's okay. Overall, just like I said, we're recording on a Tuesday. The home run derby was yesterday. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. catching the W. Our boy Luis Robert Jr. did what he could. Only got to the semifinal, losing out to Randy Arozarena, who just went off. He had like 30. There you go. That's been the go-to. The stat stance has been very fun to watch.
Fuck him. Also, Luis Robert got hurt after the first round, so
yes, yeah,
yeah,
that's been the big news. I was gonna get to that for sure, but yeah, just unfortunately tweaking his calf. It makes sense. It's a very White Sox thing for that to happen. Obviously, I mean,
Yeah.
what else can go wrong in this
The
snowball field?
one the
Just
one good thing on our team.
yeah, obviously, yeah, honestly, very, very obviously. I mean, he's the only one with a positive WAR on our team over 1.0. He's at 3.9 or something like that. Everyone else is 1.7 or lower.
Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah, isn't that awful? Don't you want to throw up? I do.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's just awful. But again, yeah, just
Oh,
recapping Bill and I were talking about this. You were in the games with us last night. I still love the home run derby. It's one of the best things going on, honestly, throughout the entire sports year. On the sports calendar year, I very much look forward to right around this time, even though it's a complete lull. There's nothing else going on. But Nick, there's games going on. There's nothing else going on
don't
right
give me
now.
that.
There's only wrestling and the All-Star break right now. So uh if you're not into either, you're having a tough break. But like I said, join us for some NFL division talk coming up soon. We'll be breaking down who we're talking
That's
about
gonna be
next.
fun.
Yeah. But where was I going to do? The overall, just the production of the home run derby. Like I said, one of the things I look forward to throughout the season. I did not like how quick call me an old man, and I was on the side of the pitch clock, and that's gonna break barriers. And that so far the pitch clock has been probably one of the coolest things to sports to making a game better. But I needed the home run derby to be slowed down a little bit.
Mm.
Again, call me an old man. I want the 10 outs back. I want the 10 outs back for a couple of reasons. I felt like we weren't appreciating the home runs. You can, if you really smack one, we can all 50,000 people, not only in the building, and then the millions at home
And
watching, could enjoy
millions.
and actually watch the ball fly over the fence. I, I felt like they were just going a million miles an hour, and you can either be on the side of you want a ton of home runs. You got 41 home runs in one round from Julio Rodriguez. That's absolutely bonkers. Like that's a feat. Like that's impressive. I'm not going to sit here and take that away from him at all. Like that's exciting.
It's
But not
insane.
everyone's doing that. And then there's rules. Those rules are thrown out the door because you're supposed to technically, when a ball is thrown, you're supposed to sit there and wait till it lands, and then they don't do that. They just fucking rapid fire away until their arm blows out on both ends. I just felt like I couldn't sit there and appreciate the home run. I felt like I have ADD or some sort of like that where I got to look and pay, but I felt like that was going too fast where the split screen was annoying to me. I felt like I couldn't even see balls go over the fence. Like there was no track on the ball. I don't know. I felt like like I said, love it, and it still was fun to watch in some ways, but I felt very annoyed at times. And I feel like while the game can progress, like baseball, speeding it up and making sure there's no downtime, we can, for lack of a better term, regress the home run derby, slow that down a little bit, make us appreciate it. Who cares? Make it a day. Like that's the only thing that goes on that day in that ballpark besides probably a concert. So let him sit there. Let him be there for 3-4 hours. Like I said, really appreciate the home runs that go over the fence.
I have a question for you.
Sure, go ahead.
Because I'm not a big baseball guy,
Yeah.
but it's so did they use how would it be back in the because I feel like how could you slow it down with the timer? Because they gotta go fast, right? How could they slow
Yeah,
it down?
so they used to not have a timer. I don't even think they used to have a bracket. They would just have all eight guys would go, top four would go into the next round, and top two would be into the finals. And they would just be outs. If you hit a liner, that's an out. If you hit a ground ball,
Oh,
out. If it didn't go over the fence, if it didn't go over the fence and it was fair, it was an out.
so you're
So
taking more time with your swing to make sure you're hitting a
yeah, so
good
you could
home
really
run.
slow it down. You could get more breaks and timeouts. You'd really take the pitches. Like the one stat, I think who of the all the pitches that Julio Rodriguez saw, he only took one pitch. And I mean, like I said, he hit 60 home runs. So he saw damn near like 70 pitches, and he's hit every single one. I mean, probably more because he fouled off a bunch. But we don't know how many because they don't keep track of them.
Yeah.
And if you blink, you missed it. 484 feet from Luis Robert. If you didn't know, if you missed the one graphic and the 30, the not even I was about to say 30, if the 3 seconds that they told you that he actually hit a bomb, you wouldn't have known that that it went 484 feet. This damn near 500 fucking feet. And you can't even you didn't even know. I didn't even know that Luis Robert hit like 6 of the farthest home runs that entire series. No one you wouldn't know because they didn't really talk about it. They just kept here you go, keep going,
They kept
go,
switching
go.
cameras
It
and
was it was a
like it
really
was
the production. Like I said, the production side was if you're going that fast, you got to keep up. They didn't keep up with the balls. When one ball was hit, they were still zoomed in on a kid catching a foul ball for some reason. It's just like I want to see the ball. I want to see the home run. Give me the
also
home
that's
run.
a quick thing I have to say. I know I get that it's like, yeah, kids, they like catching foul balls and stuff. Whose idea is it to put these kids in the outfield? This is like the
That
second
kid
year
got
now.
smoked by a 115-mile-an-hour liner by Vladimir Guerrero. I hope he's okay.
Yeah.
That was bonkers. That's gonna mess up that kid's day for
You're
a while.
having kids try to field professional MLB player
I mean, to be fair,
bats.
it's not even that safe to be in the outfield. Like some people's like their popcorn was exploding, like they couldn't catch it. They didn't bring a mitt. Like this is dangerous. And Julio Rodriguez is hitting 40 of these, if not more.
That's
Just
a good point. It's like an aerial attack.
it's assault. It's absolutely assault. They're just taking BP, and we're just supposed to stand there like sheep and just take it. It's like
Oh.
it's like I mean, you've been going to the driving range. It would be like if you were going out into the driving range and some dude just out in the middle of the field, and you're just like, all right, time to just hit golf balls at this guy. It's essentially what they're doing. I
That's a
mean, yeah,
good
again,
analogy
it's
there.
so much fun, and I don't want to take anything away from it. I just hope that in some way they want to take a look at it. But I know that the idea of more homers, more homers, more homers that will overtake the idea of like, hey man, let's really appreciate it. Let's appreciate the old timer guy. That I feel again. That's why I feel like an old timey little old man saying being on this side of things, but I felt like it was too fast. I got dizzy. I don't know. It was all over the place, and
Yeah.
yeah.
You think they juiced the balls for that, right?
Oh, maybe our
I would
buddy
assume
Bill.
off of the fact, like you're saying, they're just like, we want as many home runs as possible.
Yeah, I thought those T-Mobile balls that they end up throwing that they're like half white, half pink. I think those are a little juiced up, but I can't attest to that.
Yeah.
When but when what's his face when Tyler, the guy that went up against Luis Robert, when he hits seven out of 8 from the right side, just right off the rip. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It speaks a
Oh, the
lot.
Aldi Rutschman
Oh
guy.
yeah.
Yeah. I thought Robert was cooked after that first round. I was like, this kid and his dad is pitching to him. I was like, the story's too good. Just like the picture you
Finish
sent to
the
us.
story.
And then yeah, Luis Robert was like, fuck all that.
Shove it up your ass. I'm about to, dude. It's like our buddy Tim said in the group chat. It's effortless. It looks effortless when he's just up there swinging. It'd be cool if he did put a little swing with his legs. But hey, I'm not. Who the hell am I? I
Yeah,
haven't
we're not
swung a bat
gonna
since
tell him how to swing,
I
right?
haven't swung a bat since T-ball, maybe since we played wiffle ball. Yeah, so looks pretty good. I can't complain. Hopefully all is well. Hopefully he returns with his
Yeah,
calf. I'll be honest. I think our opening series as we come back is against Atlanta.
it is.
We don't need him gimping around playing against Atlanta. He can take a break. I'll be okay with that.
We
We
have
don't
no
need
shot anyway.
yeah, we're gonna get swept. Like it doesn't matter. Like we don't need him out there potentially getting more hurt while we're getting swept. We're getting swept whether he's there or not. Is the end of it.
Yeah.
Is the story. Anything on the celebrity game? I know our boy Zach Levine cracked a home run and robbed a home run. That was basically the highlights that I saw. If you want to, you can check it out on YouTube. I know that's there only after you check us out here and like and subscribe here. Like and subscribe. And then you like and subscribe. And then you like and subscribe. And then I think the Miz was there too. He's kind of a namestay
Oh,
at those.
and JoJo Siwa now.
She's
Seems
I
like
guess she's
she's
an
at
avid softball
everyone
player.
now. But yeah, I
It's
just
fine.
really saw the Zach Levine highlights. I saw him hit the home run and yeah, catch the home run.
Yeah.
Just because I follow the Bulls, I didn't even know that was going on at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, I think that it happened pretty early throughout the week, and yeah, like I said, yeah, they just threw it up on YouTube. Sometimes it plays back on MLB Network really late at night, but I don't even think it did that this year. So yeah, it's like I said, it was one of those things that I really thought was fun, but they don't really put into it enough, like with the advertising, like, hey, it's the Celebrity All Star Game.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's very niche. I'm not gonna
Yeah, like I
try.
never saw a commercial for it ever
Yeah,
or anything. Like I didn't, I had no idea
and
it's
it is more
happening.
fun, like when it was last year when they were out in LA, so you can get a bunch of actual like celebrities like Bryan Cranston and all that stuff. It's You're gonna get
Hmm.
some Seattle celebrities. You're gonna get the corpse of Kurt Cobain up there, and I don't think that's gonna be possible.
Oh,
I'm sorry, too dark. I'm sorry.
was it on
And
TV last year? Because I
I
feel like I remembered
I
watching
feel
it,
like it
but
was like it was one of those things where it was like after the home run derby, and they were like, due to time constraints, please enjoy this, fast forward it or whatever. So they just played the Celebrity All-Star game.
hmm.
Something. It's just something to fill in there instead of watching Sports Center for the millionth time on replay. So
Yeah, because
not
just
the
like you
worst thing
said,
to
I
do.
remember watching Bryan Cranston at bat, and there's like they throw the ball and they called him out, and then
That was
J.K.
the end of the
Simmons
game. That
comes
literally
out.
ended the
Yeah.
game. Yeah. And then who's Jimmy Kimmel's little guy he
Guillermo, yeah.
Guillermo, yes, he's always there farting around. I think Fluffy was at the game last year. So like I said, when you have actual celebrities, it's fun. But
Probably more popular. Last year's was more popular, so
yeah, I'm sure.
yeah.
But like I said, I to be honest, to be fair, I didn't look at this year's celebrity team. I'll probably just watch it on playback just when I'm getting other notes and stuff together. So that's that. Like I said, I'll take a quick gander. We're in commercial break. Nerfy in the All Star break. Probably been some good things. Just before we actually started, they've been miking up players and keeping that involved. So, are you a fan or foe of that? Do you like those? I think those are always a live mic'd up game, especially just during this exhibition. Seems okay.
I think they're cool, but it's dumb as hell when it's actually happening during like normal games on TV. Like
Yeah,
when
that can be a distraction.
they're just like, yeah, talking like Pete Alonso and they're just like playing the Braves or something. It's like, leave me the fuck alone, dude. Like I have a fucking game to worry about.
Yeah.
This is more, it's more chill, so it's like it's whatever. It's like it's nice
Just
hearing
chilling.
the insight from the players and stuff like that.
Yeah, this is just a step. I know, of course, obviously all the best players in the world, but it's just a step above just throwing one back and having a game in the backyard with the boys or something like that. So they treat it like that. It's always fun, and when push comes to shove and it gets a little closer towards the end, just like the NBA All Star game, it gets a little competitive. But
Yeah, this might be one of the most. I mean, if you compare this to NBA or NFL All-Star games, this is probably the most competitive just because it's the least, I don't know, maybe the least physical, I feel like. I don't know.
yeah, yeah,
They
exactly.
definitely have to put
There's
effort
the
into
less
it, but
injury
they're,
risk from this, I would think.
yeah,
But I mean, there's always the potential of getting hit by a pitch or something like that. You don't want to, never want to get one on the ribs. That's a stinger. But
yeah, that's true.
it's the All Star game. They're usually keeping it high and tight. They're not fucking your day up. They're not throwing at
Like
you.
it's not like the pitchers are just throwing the meatballs, really. It's like it's one to
No,
one,
no,
right?
they
It's
care,
one
and
to
they're
one
only going to
right
be
now.
they're only in there for an inning, most likely. So they're giving most likely their best stuff, and they're pumping up their velocity a little bit more than usual. So Garrett Cole's throwing 98, he's probably throwing 100. Same thing with when Zach Gallen was probably going. He probably only throws like 95. He probably pumped up to 97. I don't know, something like that. You're
Yeah.
only in there for an inning. You might maybe only getting 9 pitches, not 10 pitches, and if it's any more than that, you're probably getting scored on. So, uh, yeah, I mean, like it was the same thing. Like, I mean, the All Star break, the All Star game is nothing to take away from that really, other than just like I like the in game interviews. That's not the worst. Like you said, it's not a big distraction considering this is just a little exhibition game, and they do it early on that it doesn't matter. And yeah, it's like the bottom of the ninth. Like, oh, what are you thinking? Like it's 5-4. Time to strike this motherfucker out. Just something
Yeah.
like that. No, they've been keeping it consistent. I like how the production on that has been. But they missed the flyover. I'm not gonna miss that. They missed the flyover.
That's fucked up. They spent all that effort to get that flyover, and how do you
Tons of
miss it?
practice, probably.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. Let me quickly, before I get into my 3 bold predictions, just recapping anything from this All-Star festivities, other popular home run derby things that I saw were, like you mentioned, take the kids out of the outfield, dangerous. One, dangerous, and two, fill, if it is going to be as dangerous as it is, fill it up with like either prisoners or without a minute, or like the other people mentioned Twitter trolls. Throw some Twitter trolls, some YouTube trolls in there.
Just they're trapped out there like hands on the walls, like
just getting pelted. And then that some people also just thought, and then it was Bo Bichette, but an MVP from the production side of Bo Bichette from interviewing. He just had funny tidbits all throughout the entire night, interviewing Vladimir Guerrero multiple times. They would be speaking Spanish. He doesn't know a lick of Spanish. He was just being thrown in like tranquilo and like just the buzzwords and shit like that. And then, like I said, Juan Soto said something to him. He goes, "Yeah, what he said. All righty, back to you." Just he literally did something like that. So it was tons of fun, and a lot of people are recommending Bo Bichette. And as soon as he's done, he'll be on the production side on the broadcast booth. There we go. That's been, like I said, one of the better times, one of the better all-star breaks throughout all of sports. The midsummer classic, as they say, for the all-star game. And rocking last year's all-star threads. Didn't get this year's. Probably not going to. They look nice though, but too much like Seattle jerseys. They're too much like the Seattle jerseys. But they look good though.
That
Here we are.
jersey you got is nice.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So the one I met CM Punk in this jersey.
Wow.
Yeah, just a little side note on that one. 3 bold predictions I got for you. I got 3. I got you for 3 bold predictions. Not only I'm not married to these. Just something I've been thinking about, something I've been sitting on. I would sit on the toilet with these thoughts. So this has just been, so just like I said, just stuff I'm sticking. If it sticks, hey, I'll take it. If it don't, I didn't even say it. Who cares? I'll probably just delete the episode. Here we are, starting off with number 1, and I'll keep it in the hometown area, sticking with the White Sox. Not only will the White Sox make moves at the deadline, they're going to be sellers. Spoiler, they're going to be sellers. I believe they will move one of the following names, if not all 3. So a bold prediction within my bold prediction. Lucas Giolito, unfortunately, just fresh off a divorce. How you doing?
What?
Yasmani Grandal and Garrett Crochet. Were you reacting to Lucas Giolito getting
divorced?
Okay, yeah. He literally just announced like 24 hours ago via TMZ or something like that, via TMZ Sports. Not looking good for the White Sox. Tim Anderson dealing with some baby mama drama. Now Lucas Giolito getting divorced after some issue. And then Mike Clevenger as well.
Oh
boy. I mean, at least we didn't sign Aroldis Chapman. How you doing?
Oh, God.
So I had Lucas Giolito, most likely could be gone. Yasmani Grandal and Garrett Crochet. I saw some report. We threw it in our group chats. We've been just looking around on different articles. Eloy, Luis Robert, Dylan Cease, and Andrew Vaughn, I believe, were the 4 names that are most likely going to stay, like basically locked in, going to stay for sure. And otherwise, essentially everybody else is available for trade.
Yeah, I think Lynn or Giolito is getting traded for sure.
I honestly blow it up. I said this about the Bulls. Do the same thing, White Sox. You got to do it. I mean, the Bulls didn't do it, but if you're gonna blow it, if you're gonna restart, rebuild, do it exactly how the Orioles, the Cubs, how the Reds have been doing it. And they're now, minus the Cubs kind of, but they're on top. They're in playoff contention. Blow it up, sell everybody, and start from scratch. Get a couple of key guys, like you said, Vaughn, Robert, Dylan Cease, even Eloy. Keep those guys, build on that core, get a new core. I like Garrett Crochet. I like the arm. I love the phenomenal things he does. A great lefty. We're not going to win this year with or without Garrett Crochet this year. We haven't had him basically all season. Let him go. Yaz, he's kind of been hasn't to me he hasn't really been playing a lot lately. Probably on the hurt side of things. We've been giving Sebi Savala a lot of reps. So I think he might be on his way out, especially with a contract year coming up, I believe. Lucas Giolito, same thing, contract year coming up. I think we're going to be saying goodbye to a lot of these guys. I was on the side of, the White Sox are probably going to sit on their hands, but I've been wrong. I've been wrong in tons and tons of times. I hope I'm wrong in the sense that they're not going to do anything. So I hope the Sox just blow it up, do something, do it right. I'm not going to get winning this year. Probably not going to get winning next year. So just blow it up, restart. This has been an awful rebuild. You got to start from scratch again. It's unfortunate, but you got to do it. Yeah. Any thought on that before I get to my next one?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're completely right, and they're gonna have to figure something out this trade before the trade deadline comes to a close for sure, because we're just cooked right now. We're just absolutely cooked. There's
It'll
like,
sting watching these guys go on different squads,
yeah, that's the main thing.
but Moncada hasn't done anything. Let him go. Lance Lynn has been dog water. Let him go. Lucas Giolito, he's got some potential fresh start. Let him go. Tim Anderson, let him go.
Wow.
Let him go. Let him
Wow.
go. I'm sorry. I'm wearing the jersey, but you got to let him go.
Jake Berger.
He needs a fresh. I want Jake Berger to stay. I need
Because
Jake
he's
Berger
not
to stay.
safe, apparently.
He is not safe, but it's gonna be a big mistake if they let him go. He's gonna be a big power bat. He's not MVP caliber. You're not gonna put him, bottom of the ninth type thing material, but he's got a lot of pop in his
I've
bat.
liked what he's done.
Oh yeah,
so
and
far.
he's not a liability on defense. Like he's a solid third baseman. You could probably even throw him at second. I don't know what you could do. Throw him at first if you wanted to. I don't know if he's tall enough.
Just try anything at this point. Like, just try it.
I honestly I like oh my god, I'm gonna butcher his name.
Remy or who?
Yeah. Our second baseman. I've been enjoying his time there. That's fine. Like I said, Sebi, he's been kind of a rally killer in some aspects, but he can actually run a little bit faster than Yaz, so I'll take that.
Not zero speed in MLB The Show.
Exactly. It's not really looking all that great, and we need to blow it up. I mean, Colson Montgomery, maybe we'll call him up or something like that sometime soon. It's a shame. It's a shame. Like I said, we've got still tons and tons of weeks to talk about White Sox baseball as the time comes, so I don't want to sit here in despair. Time to turn it around. They have the weakest schedule going into the post All-Star break. Fingers crossed, but I'm not keeping my hope up at all.
It's a tough pill to swallow. Is there
Absolutely.
any player that you want to see on the White Sox at the end of this trade deadline?
Shohei Ohtani. Realistically, okay. Well, I mean, it would be a number of people that would need to come in to fix this. We'd for sure need an arm, another arm in the rotation. Between people getting hurt, and I don't trust a guy like Mike Clevenger or at this point Lance Lynn to really get us there. Geez.
Definitely a hard question. I mean, there's a lot of players to choose from, but
I've seen the idea. Paul Goldschmidt has been going around because the Cardinals have had such a bad year and similar. Like he's the end of a contract. It would just be a nice name / a huge power bat. A guy like him in a guaranteed rate, that would be nice.
A nice veteran to bring in,
yeah, some good presence right there. He's been there, done that with a couple of things, but they've actually I think the Arizona Diamondbacks might be calling back for him sometime soon. I've heard rumors of that. Man, it maybe just. I wish I knew a big package deal or something was realistic that we could draw in a bunch of things, but it would have to be And again, I'm still tapping. I might break my arm doing this, but I'm still tapping myself on the back about what I said about the Phillies last year, right around the trade deadline. I'm like, wow, they made some really underrated moves, enough moves that they might even make the waves a dark horse into the World Series. And bingo, bango, they were in
Wow.
the World Series. They lost, but they were in the World Series because they got names like, at the time, Noah Syndergaard, who wasn't complete dog ass up until this year. And uh, they made a couple other, like I said, key moves in their bullpen and getting some solid bats on their side. So they made the moves and did enough. The White Sox on the other side probably will not do that. They will hopefully just do like I asked and
Something.
dump what they can, but they will most likely sit on their hands and do nothing. So that's the White Sox. That was my, bold prediction that they'll do nothing. But like I said, I countered it with them actually doing something, if not dropping a bunch of names. Number
All
two,
right, yeah, let's hear number two.
when O'Neal Cruz returns in late summertime, like he is eyeballing, the Pirates won't have enough wins for the division. I got my fingers crossed on the Reds plus 1,700 still, but they will have enough wins and momentum to snag the last wild card spot from the Brewers, the
Wow.
Phillies, and the Diamondbacks, because I think the Giants are going to stay on pace with the Dodgers, and it'll probably be a fight between the Dodgers and the Giants for the top of the division and one of those wild card spots. But I digress. When
There's
O'Neal
no
Cruz,
way.
what? You don't think
You think the Pirates are gonna beat out those teams for a wild card spot?
I don't think the okay, so the Brewers have solid pitching. Solid pitching. You can't go wrong with Corbin Burns and Garcia. However, their bats are awful. They straight up cannot hit lefties. It's just not in their cards. Uh, I think the Phillies have been playing some great baseball. Off the top of my head, who I think the Marlins stay on pace. I think it's either going to be either the Dodgers or the Giants. That if one of those don't get the division, the other will get the wild card spot. So that's the second wild card spot right there. And then yeah, that's enough for the Pirates to swoop right in and get that last spot. Like I said, I think the Diamondbacks, they've been good enough, but it might be one of those things where similar to Ellie De La Cruz came in 27, won 22 of his 27 games or something ridiculous like that. When
Holy
you get a
shit.
momentum boost like that, it's just you get a guy in the clubhouse. Not only is he impactful on the field, but he just gets the momentum up. It gets people riled up. So O'Neal Cruz, up until he got injured, literally the day he got injured, I was about to put in a future for him to win MVP. Glad I held back.
Is that the White Sox game?
Yeah, that was the White Sox
Okay.
game. But then yeah, just right until then, I believed that O'Neal Cruz was going to be that much of an X factor when it comes to that. So call me crazy. O'Neal Cruz, when and if he returns late summertime, it'll be just enough for the Pirates to sneak in and snag that last wild card spot. Call me crazy.
I like that. That's a bold prediction for sure, right
There we
there.
go. Final one. After not trading away Shohei Ohtani at the deadline, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim will miss the playoffs by exactly one game. They will miss the playoffs by one whole game. Again, similar. Their division is stacked to the gills. Mariners doing well, Houston doing well. And then, oh, Jesus Christ. Again, when all these names aren't in front of me, I think they're sitting right around fourth. They're still fourth in their division, and there's above 500. They're rocking and rolling. They got Trout, they got Otani. They're gonna get it enough in a momentum swing and try and get it in there. Do what they can.
They
It
just
just won't
traded for
be
El
enough.
Caballo, Eduardo Escobar. It doesn't help at all.
I don't think it's gonna be enough. It's gonna peak him. It's gonna get him interested and going, but just will not be enough to get them. I don't think they're going to win the division. It's going to be a tough go. That whole AL East might take the wild card spots. It's tough when I think Boston is like 500, if not like two games below 500, and they're like 14 games out of their division because the Rays are crazy and they just want to win every single game. It's true. It's like
Like
the
every team
Broncos.
does,
Yeah, I
but
know, but the Rays do it. The Rays go
I
out and
know.
actually do it. Other teams just say it. The Rays do it. But like I said, just go. Uh, it's gonna be tough. They at least might swoop up all the wild card spots. If not, maybe just one or two between Houston and the Mariners. Maybe they can sneak into one of those as well. But it's gonna be tough after not trading away Shohei at the deadline, which that's also big. They want to know if he's gonna do that because there's only 1 year left on his contract. Boy, that would be insane. And it's a kind of a hack take already at this point, but the legacy that you would have if you trade away Shohei Ohtani, and then if he went on to one bigger and better things, actually end up winning a World Series, you would look stupid. And that there's nothing you can ever get in any sort of return that's going to give you back the same value as having Shohei Ohtani. So it's either you let him walk and you get absolutely nothing, and he goes on to do bigger and better things, or you trade him away, don't get ever close on the same amount of value, and he goes on to do bigger and better things.
So trade him.
I guess you could trade
And
him, but then you still look stupid.
trade him. So at least you get something, right?
Yeah, but then there's
If you don't think you're gonna make the playoffs this year, and you know his
they
contract's
think they're gonna
over.
make the playoffs this year, though. That's the thing. They think they're still in the hunt. I think they think they're still in the hunt. That's the
Then they're
problem.
in a tough. Then they're in a tough spot
They are
right
in
now.
they are jammed up, my guy. They are jammed up. I mean, like I said, if you trade him away, you kind of close the door on him even being able to come back in any sort. I mean, doesn't it look a little
He would never
disrespectful?
come back.
Exactly. Like you kind of, unless you have like a backhanded deal or whatever, like backdoor deal. Something like, hey, we'll do what we can. Come back when you want to. We'll pay you $1 billion. He's gonna get $1 billion.
Like, I
He's
don't
gonna
think
get.
he has respect for the like Angels, like like LeBron for the Cavaliers. Like, I gotta go back and win them
Yeah,
a
no,
championship. Like, it's like he
no.
could give a fuck about the Angels
Yeah,
after
no,
he
he'll go. I
leaves.
mean, like Japan is his Cleveland, if that makes sense. I don't in this.
And he already won them a championship.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. In this metaphor, Cleveland, yeah, exactly. But yeah, he's not gonna go. Yeah, it's so messy. That's the last guy I want to be right now is the Angels front office, the president or whatever that would have to make that decision. I already argued that they should be in jail because having Ohtani and having Mike Trout, and you've had you've had one playoff series in Mike Trout's entire career. You've taken away a lot from us as baseball fans. You should be in jail. That's jail, jail. Just Will Arnett's character from Parks and Rec. Those are my three bold predictions. I hope one, maybe at least maybe half of them stick. What one half of them? I don't know.
If they all stick, that'll be awesome.
That would be so
We'll clip
crazy.
this.
That would be in the Hall of Fame. Uh, there we go. If you're good on the MLB, we're still watching.
It's 1-1. I think you're a little ahead of me.
1-1, middle six. So, like I said, hopefully, don't ruin a good little at bat. It looked like it was pretty good. 1-1, middle six, going bottom six here.
Like, that pitcher just threw a disgusting pitch right there. Like,
Love
disgusting.
Love it. We got 8 more Sundays until the NFL season begins. I know you were as excited as I am. We were talking about this a couple days ago when you helped me out for a little project. But like I said, between fantasy, like I said, just locking it down, calling your loved ones and saying, "Hey, Sundays are done. Don't call me. Don't have a wedding on. Don't no birthdays on Sunday this year. Nothing. There's nothing going on. Whenever NFL comes around, it's just football." With that being said, the next 8 weeks are still bone dry. We're looking at a couple of pregame games. Oh my god, preseason games coming
In
up.
about a month, yeah.
Yeah. So
Preseason.
between that most like, like I said, the Hard Knocks hopefully coming in hot. I think it's the Jets officially. So
Yeah, it was officially Aaron Rodgers,
oh
baby. You get to
Jesus.
see Aaron
And you
Rodgers.
see that drug addict week in and week out for the next 5 weeks. I hope he cracks under the pressure and we get to see how I hope we just get a cringe fest of memes from this. That's all I can ask for.
I hope not. More ammo for people
Oh
to
yeah.
talk shit about Aaron Rodgers.
Big time. Big time. But yes, without further ado, we'll be breaking down in the upcoming 8 weeks, these next 8 episodes leading into the NFL season. Of course, we'll be recapping the NFC North, but we'll be doing that again as the season right before the season begins. And yeah, we'll just be breaking down the division itself, all 4 teams in said division, who's going to win that division, who's potential good flyer to take odds wise on Bet Rivers, bit.ly/no sub bets, be 18 and older, be in Illinois, gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. We talking props, who's going to win, big ad drops from the free agency and the draft, and who left that team. If there's, like I said, other things to be looking at, like, so for example, Justin Fields progressing, and what's Jordan Love going to do in the NFC North, so on, so on. So looking forward to that, breaking down everything in between. So that'll be great. Can't wait. That's enough talking. Let's figure out that's who's the first division we're gonna be talking about. So let's spin the wheel. Oh, how about that? The NFC East. I have a feeling that
Oh
I
my
think when
goodness.
me and Bill did this the last year, I mean I could go back, but I feel like we started with the NFC East last year too. So what? We'll be talking Giants, Cowboys, Commanders, and
Giants, Eagles, right?
Eagles and the Stiegles. Yeah. One of them, so 4 of the most, I would say 3. I don't know who a Commanders fan is, but 3 of the most insufferable fan bases, maybe in NFL. We'll be talking about those teams next week. Do not miss out. And then I'll have to delete that. And then next week, we'll figure out who we're talking about after that. So stick around, but make sure you tune in next week for that. If we're not
Hell
talking about
yeah.
your team next week, we'll be talking about the week after or the week after. So dig in, stay around for all those. Like I said, maybe we get something. Oh, damn it. I just clicked out of the Matt Hardy news that I wanted to look at.
I don't
That's
know
okay.
about Allen, but I'll be taking my notes for
Yeah,
that.
there you go. There you go. I can appreciate that. Let's see. So again, like we just said, NFC East officially will be the division that we talk about next week. Bring your pad and pencil, bring everything that you need, talking everything about the NFC East.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. If you're good on that, we can finish this off with some wrestling. We got some good
Yeah.
things in the wrestling world. We got some drama. We got some people bitching on their podcast, just like us over here. And then we got some big news in the Chicagoland area, like it always is, when it comes to the wrestling stuff and live
Always.
events. But we want to kick it off with an AEW Fight Forever review. The video game dropped July, June,
Um,
end of June, right before
it
everything.
dropped on a Wednesday, I think, like 2 Wednesdays ago, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And I wanted to get your thoughts last week, but you weren't here with us, so I wanted to whatever, stick it around and postpone it to this week. You've been playing it way more than I have. I played it just that one time, so I can't feel like I can't give it a good yay or nay either which way. It was fun while I did play it, and I got some good like nostalgic feeling of the old time video games. But
Mm-hmm.
overall, thoughts, opinions, thumbs up, thumbs down. What is going on in AEW Fight Forever?
Um, well, if I have to get, I would give it, maybe it's not a full thumbs up, but maybe it's right here. It's 75%.
Okay.
I think I have been playing it for a decent amount of time now. I've played the Road to the Elite mode that they have on there, which is the career mode, basically. I've been playing their matches, playing some online matches, trying everything out to get the full gist of it, to playing their mini games that they got on there. And all in all, I've had a lot of fun with it. It's definitely not as good graphics wise or physics wise as like a 2K WWE game because they definitely went for a more arcade style here, and you can
And
definitely get
not to
that.
stick up for them or white knight for them, but that they were upfront. They said that this is exactly what it was going to be. So
Hmm.
sorry, keep
It's
going.
like, no, you're good, but it's like there can be a match where like you just get your ass kicked the whole time and like you just get pinned and you lose and you're like, what the fuck was that? Like there's nothing I could even do. And it's like, like something, maybe you're at your local restaurant when you're as a kid or something, you put the quarter into those gaming machines, you get cooked up on those sometimes and
Yeah,
it's
some
just
old
like, what the
Tekkens.
fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they do add those elements of it making it difficult, but I there's definitely things to it that they don't have enough matches. That's one thing I don't like. There's waits not enough matches. They don't have everybody on the AEW roster, which I get it because they were making this game for a while, so they had who they had in the game when they were making it. But like the DLC people that they have, like the bunny is one of the DLC. Like who the fuck cares about the
Yeah.
bunny? It's like that stuff is
Get
whatever, but
FTR. Woo.
that was cool. And the Hook and Danhausen DLC is cool. Like those are
Okay.
cool, but like they should be like an acclaimed DLC or something. Like people like the acclaimed have been in AEW since the beginning. I feel
Yeah,
like
they've been
they're
there
not
for
in
a
the
bit. Yeah,
game. It's
definitely
just like,
since pre or some COVID times for sure.
but and like all in all, honestly, I like it a lot. There's definitely people that are hating on it, and I see that constantly. But if you can just have fun with it and put that stuff to the side, I think it's pretty fun. So is it worth $70? I don't know. I don't know if I want to stand by that and say like go out and buy this game right now, like you have to. But if you're like an AEW fan and you like arcade, like the old school, because it's made by the same people that made like No Mercy and like the old school wrestling games,
Yeah, like here comes the
THQ, and
pain, and yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that with the one, yeah.
exactly. So if you like games like that, then like my brother was playing this, like he's older than me. He would play games like that and he was like, this is awesome. Like this AW game is so cool. So if you like stuff like that, then it's definitely for you. But if you're don't like graphics like that or you're gonna get pissed off easily at something like that, then maybe it's not your cup of tea. But I've had fun with it. I've played the Road to Elite mode a couple times now with a bunch of different wrestlers, and it's a lot of fun. So, and they're adding a new stadium mode that's like a 30-man battle royale Fortnite type thing where everyone is online fighting in like the Jacksonville stadium, and it's the last person standing wins. So that seems pretty cool. I like all stuff like that. So
I can only hope that servers can keep up with that. I'm sure, being
mm,
basically a brand
mm,
new thing, but
that's very true. It's probably going to crash a lot.
I'm sure I would with something like that. But if they learn anything from Fortnite people or something like that, if they have any sort of similar technology and they're only having 30 compared to 100, I'm sure it could be a little bit of a setback. But it's still probably still a little rough in the works. Again, yeah, a lot of people comparing it and comparing it to the old TNA game, saying it's a complete ripoff of that, or just saying it's a ripoff of the old, like you said, the Here Comes the Pain games, but just like, hey, it's the same guy. It's the same thing,
Yeah,
same
they're not
artist.
ripping it off. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just it's
exactly.
an AEW game. Like this,
Yeah,
sorry if they have similar mechanics. It's just like you said, it's made by the same people. So
yeah, and that's a very responsible thing, like you just said. Is it worth $70? Probably not. If you're a guy like myself and you as well, if you're working, you got some extra cash lying around, and you're like I said, you're not all jammed up. Take some time. You want to have some fun. Buy the AEW video game if you're a kiddo. Maybe hold up. Maybe wait till it's on sale, or maybe wait till Christmas time or something like that. Like, hey man, I want to get the AEW game. You're like, all right, shut up, and then just flicks a cigarette at you. But yeah, moms that smoke in the house are bad moms.
I'm
But
gonna deal with you later.
oh my god, where do we go? But yeah, if you just got, yeah, maybe it's not worth the price just yet. The new features with the Stadium Stampede could be pretty cool, and yeah, those Fortnite-esque, but still could be pretty funny and still could be pretty fun. As far as the gameplay, like you said, could be better. It wasn't. It
Definitely.
wasn't. They weren't saying, "Hey, this is gonna be a competition slash just as good as 2K." They were saying, "We're gonna be in our own lane. There's that over there. You can enjoy that just as much as you can enjoy us over here." So that's that. I think that was pretty okay. Like I said, I'll be in that same boat. I'll probably wait till it's on sale or something like that. That's when I'll keep diving in. But the share play has been pretty fun. That was pretty cool. You can do that over the PS5 and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
worth it, worth the time. And like you said, if you've gone through what's the main storyline again?
The Road to Elite.
Road to Elite mode. So I
And
mean, if
it's one
they
thing, yeah,
yeah,
quick thing. They have like a bunch of different alternate paths. Like there's 4 different blocks, chapters that you do throughout the Road to the Elite, and there's 4 different things that can happen in each chapter. So there's a bunch of different alternate storylines depending on if you win, lose. That's another thing. It's like in the 2K games, if you lose in the campaign, it says like you lost, you have to restart. But if you lose, like you lose and it continues from that storyline. Like you lost, so now this is what happens. So
okay.
I like stuff like that. It's stuff like that I like.
Yeah, and like you also mentioned before, like different ways to get different characters. Like you had to wrestle Paul White, and you can only do that one time in this go through. If you mess up the
Yeah.
first time, you gotta wait till the next go around to get him, or you do the greasy thing like you were doing and you restart. But we're not telling anybody over
You
here.
only had 2 minutes to beat him. They give you 2 minutes, and I'm not doing the whole Road to the
Hey,
Elite
I know
again.
2 minutes is rough. I had to do that American Gladiators review. That was quick. Yeah, no, I get you. That's quick.
Yeah, I had to beat Paul White in that amount of time. It's
Wait.
and then yeah, it's like Brody Lee. Like you can only unlock him if you get the randomized chapter where you join the Dark Order, and it's like you can only get Owen Hart by playing 100 matches in the game. So it's just like stuff like that to keep you playing. I like little challenges like
That's
that, and
cool. It's
it's
like Super Smash Brothers. That's how
yeah,
isn't that how you get like
exactly.
Mewtwo and shit like
Yeah, it's like
that?
it's like an arcade. It really
Dr.
feels like an
Mario.
arcade game. So I do respect that a lot.
Yeah, and people are doing. I mean, but even when you're not going to have the acclaimed right away, people are in the community are very fast, and you can download and create a character. I'm sure there's
Not
already
on
share.
this
Oh,
game.
there's no share files.
No, you can't
Oh, okay.
download people. You can
Ah,
create
yikes.
people yourself, but
Oh,
yeah,
I mean, at least there's that. You're gonna have to actually go the extra mile and actually do it yourself. But people will make the models and put it up on YouTube and put it up on or Twitter or
I've
whatever.
already seen people make like pitch perfect models of like Roman Reigns and like the Usos and
Yeah,
shit. I'm like, how the fuck do people do this
it's
stuff?
people got time. People got the time, my guy. And yeah, it's just it's what you want to do. Is exactly just take the time. So it seems all
One
right.
quick thing,
Oh, sure, yeah,
just a little thing
yeah.
that
Go
I
ahead.
thought was cool with the entrances. I guess stupid and dumb. The entrances are only 7 seconds, which it's kind of dumb, but you can manually control like all camera angles and fireworks like during entrances. So like
That's fun.
if you tap bumpers, you could switch camera angles, and if you press the buttons on the controller, there's a bunch of different fireworks that can happen. So I just like spamming those buttons and like seeing different
Yeah.
like stuff and shit.
And
It's
not
just
to like suck the fun out of it and be a nerd really quick. Like if you truly wanted to be like production wise and actually make that look good, you can practice and make that look good. Like, oh, camera one, press for the
I
pyro.
could say I've done that
Yeah.
definitely. Like I
Camera
pressed them
one,
at the
press
right
the smoke.
times.
Yeah. Camera two, here comes the pyro. Camera three, here comes the
Like
shards or
right when
whatever.
Adam Cole says, "Boom!" You gotta make that fire.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's what we're doing in the school. You do it at the game. Boom, bada bing. See, I mean, like I said, is going to be cracked up in the same as 2K? Probably not, but
No.
we there's alternates you can enjoy it still. But it's still going to be anything that goes wrong, any glitch, anything just like when the empty seats are open in the AEW shows, WWE fans be like, "Oh my
It's the
god, you paid
worst game ever.
$70 for this? You paid $70 for a skateboard to go through your head or whatever."
Yeah,
So
let's all forget about 2K22, which was like one of the worst games ever.
yeah, so bad they had to take a break. We got WWE Battlegrounds for free, and then that's what that was called, right?
Yeah,
Battlegrounds, or that wasn't that just the pay per view?
yeah,
Either
you're
way,
right.
Either
Yeah,
way,
just stole the pay-per-view name.
yeah. And said, fuck it. So there you go. Fight forever. Like I said, tons of content to come, tons of stuff still to drop. It's not a final product. It's just, stuff is still coming in. If this sells well, maybe Fight Forever 2 or Fight Forever or Fight for Everest. I don't know. Someone's gonna do that.
Fight for Everest.
Yeah. Fight for Mount Everest. Darby Allen will.
Oh,
Let's see. Let's see. Before I get pissed off, let's talk about a fun one. All right, now I'll switch it up. Let me get pissed off so then I'll calm myself back down with some good news. Logan Paul breaking kayfabe on his podcast. I mean, I'll be honest, don't listen to his podcast because I don't want to drive in oncoming traffic. But yes, the spot from behind you is exactly what we're mentioning. Completely botched. I'm under the impression that if he's going for trying to make this a rivalry through this, you don't go by the way that you did. You don't completely blow it up on your podcast and be like, well, it was a botch. Welcome to Botchamania. I'm going to be on the YouTube show. I am the table, this, that, and the other. No, that's not how you do it. You got to be more professional. And again, just did I expect exactly this from a character like Logan Paul, who's a bit of a shithead, and still, after time and time and again, we give him a chance, but still nothing changes? Yeah, it makes sense that he did exactly that. Broke kayfabe. Doesn't matter. I know everyone pisses and shits and moans all over kayfabe and acts like it's dead, but it's still real to me. Damn it.
yeah. I just I hate to defend Logan Paul, but I'm going to say this: like, what wrestler does still keep kayfabe
None of
going
them,
anymore?
none of them to the upteenth degree. But when you really
Except for
when you're
MJF.
as
Like,
blatant as he was, it gets a little disrespectful. It gets a little much. So I'm not gonna rip them apart entirely. Be like, kayfabe is a sacred thing that we hold it in our heart that wrestling is here and forever. No, no, no. I get it. It's there. It's a show. We all know that. But to go on your podcast just for numbies or just for clicks or whatever it was, it sounded very arrogant. And again, to the people that aren't some aren't completely convinced, even though he's got the cool spots. He's a bit of at this point he does the high flying shit and spot stuff that Jim Cornette bitches and moans about, but he likes when Logan Paul does it. Oh, we'll see how that one goes. More on
huh.
Cornette later. But yeah, some people aren't completely convinced that he's, you know, giving his full self really to it, and then when he does something like this, it still comes off as distasteful and disrespectful. So again, yeah, I'm gonna hold his feet to the fire a little bit on this one. Like I said, if you're gonna do a rivalry or an angle like this, you don't do it like that. So maybe not gonna. I'll go 70% blame on his end, 30% blame on somebody else should have been in his ear saying, "Hey, don't do that." A producer should have been, "Hey, don't do that because we're gonna do an angle on TV. Don't do it on your dumbass podcast."
Hmm.
Whatever. Like I said, you said your thing about kayfabe. Anything else lingering with Logan Paul just on the spot? Really, I mean, I know you didn't really. Maybe you caught something from Money in the Bank, but we didn't really review it. I did on the Friday show.
One thing I saw is that WWE said that they were planning for this spot to be like the viral moment of the night, and that like since it got botched, they only ended up having them have a backstage brawl on SmackDown or
Oh
something.
yeah,
And it's like, don't try to plan viral spots. Like that's it. Just
there
let
was
them
that, and
happen
they
naturally.
also, I don't know if you saw on the Rollins and Finn Balor spot. Finn Balor did a move on Rollins and it got only a 1 count, literally a week after they did the Falcon Arrow on Omega, and he kicked out at 1. So just like, yeah, again, you say you're not watching AEW, you
Oh,
say you're
there.
not you're not paying attention to all that, but then you do everything that they're doing.
Yeah,
You're
bring
gonna
up
have a show in
Wembley.
England. You're gonna
Yeah.
have Wembley. You're gonna have WrestleMania in England. You were the greatest fans. Fuck you, John Cena, you bitch. That was insane,
He
and it
must have
went.
just been filming a movie there or
Oh, yeah,
something.
no,
And
that was exactly what was going on. They were filming. Oh God, that was literally the only reason that he was there was because they were filming something. And
Vince is just like, hey, John.
yeah, they were able to able to get him in just in time. God, I wish I remember what they were filming. They said it in an article for sure that he was
Fast and Furious 11 because he's not dead somehow.
He plays himself still, but it's gonna be a shot of him, like him in the clouds as Dom is like, Dom, use the force. Like,
yeah, like what? Time for your final lesson, Dom. The cloud.
Remember what I told you, and he's gonna like pull the throttle and all that.
Like he's Obi-Wan, like he's a Force ghost.
Exactly. That's what I was going for the whole time. Oh my god. Yeah, if you want my review on Money in the Bank, catch it on Spotify. I did it on the Friday show. That was a lot of fun to complain about. Yeah. Well, any lingering thoughts on Logan Paul?
Fuck him. Yeah, we've had enough of him.
Yeah, talking about him twice on the show that's a bad idea. Too much. What am I thinking? Why I gotta space it out over.
Yeah,
time.
I'm getting sick.
Yeah, gotta have some Prime. Survivor Series coming to Chicago. November 25th. Again, AEW's coming to Chicago, so time to come to Chicago. WWE. I believe pre-sale is going on July 19th, but you're not going to get me like that. I'm going to need to see some proof. I'm going to need to see some identification.
Yeah, because the main event will be like Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso or something.
Yeah, and everyone will shit their pants for it, but I'm not interested. No, they're going to be running. I think they do this now where there's no storyline. It's just Raw guys versus SmackDown guys for no reason.
It's just champions versus like champions, stuff like
it'll be
that.
It'll be Austin Theory versus Gunther, and then it'll be, Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, maybe, probably not. They'll probably just continue the bloodline storyline.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes will probably cry. We'll get Shayna Baszler, or we'll get the women's tag match versus the other women's tag if there is.
Yeah,
is too
like the NXT women tag.
Yeah, exactly. We'll just get a barf show. Honestly, I'll be waiting in the wings. I won't completely say no, but I'm gonna need to see a card first. I'm not just gonna go blind. Can't do it. AEW for sure. I can go blindly. Yeah. We're gonna do it on Friday. We're gonna go blindly and go buy the All Out and the Collision tickets all in one, most likely, like we did last week.
We might even get floor seats.
We're gonna try and get some floor seats. We're gonna see you, Pro Wrestling Tees. We're gonna be in the front. We're gonna be yelling at the guy that looks like Frankenstein or whatever.
And Big Show.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I don't want to be behind that guy. I'd be pissed if I paid all that money and I'm behind him.
Yeah, no, he's a big guy. He's tall. No, they're energetic. They're fun.
Yeah, they're cool.
But we want to beat them there because we want to get front row. Then that definitely is the goal. For sure is the goal one year. But yeah, I digress. We need to see a card.
Absolute dream.
Yeah, we need to see a card. WWE is not going to provide us a card on July 19th. I will not be buying my tickets on July 19th. I will be waiting. That's a long time between July and November to get a card. They'll be slowly but surely.
That is a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, you probably won't get any sort of idea of what's going on until
it's like 5 months.
Yeah, you won't know until you'll get whispers and rumors at the beginning of October, but you're not going to know until the beginning of November of what that show is going to actually look like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's ways away. I'm not waiting. Sorry. I'm sure tickets will still be available in some sort of capacity. So if I'm not doing anything come that Saturday, maybe, but I'm not going to break my neck trying to get into the Allstate that day. So still pretty cool.
One thing I saw people saying was like, oh, another wrestling show in Chicago, bleeding Chicago dry. Like, you will never bleed us dry. Give us as much wrestling as I will be there every time.
Everyone's a wrestling fan here. Everyone's a pro wrestling fan here. You can run into someone at the gas station and be like, Stone Cold? Like, hell yeah. Something.
People are always complaining in the comments like about Chicago shows, but then they all sell out every time. So it's like
the wrestling companies know where their bread is buttered. Chicago. There you are. Like I said, I wanted to make it nice and happy and easy before we get into the clamoring, the yelling, the screaming, the yelling between Jim Cornette, Matt Hardy, and his podcast co-host, which I keep saying it like that. I know it's Brian Last, but I'm trying to prove a point that no one really knows who he is because he kept replying to Matt Hardy, acting like he was all that in a bag of chips. And that was my only reply in this whole thing. I hope people on Twitter understood that, but of course, the cretins that reply and think they're funny, that doesn't get to me. I put up my point. I don't need to prove it to anybody else. I write
Yeah,
what I write.
you can't let that stuff get to you or it'll
Yeah.
drive you crazy.
Like I said, no one looked good in this entire exchange. That was my point. And to one of the guys that actually did reply, and I actually probably has a head on his shoulders, some sort of brain inside of that head. He goes, "It was very Meltzer-ish." That's exactly the point I was trying to get across. No one was looking good. Everyone complaining just looked like whiny little bitches. These are, I mean, Hardy's what, 50 something? He's going 40, late 40s.
Yeah.
Brian Last, I mean, Cornette's in his late 60s, and Brian Last, I don't care. They're grown men on Twitter. And not only that, if they have as big of a platform as Jim Cornette and they all claim they do, get them on there and actually talk this out and not look like whiny little bitches online. I'm
Yeah.
kind of jumping ahead. I'll try and get to what the actual whole ordeal came to be. Matt Hardy tweeted a simple little tweet as Dark Order versus the Elite was a fantastic match. It's nice to see the Dark Orders earn such a well-deserved spotlight on hashtag Rampage. The Young Bucks and Adam Page are extraordinary talents. They are unfortunately will not get their flowers. Excuse me. That will unfortunately get their flowers way later than they should. A quote retweet from a fan said, "Matt's right though. I know it's cool to hate on the Bucks and Hangman if you're a Punk/Collision fan, but not for me. Give those guys their flowers." Matt Hardy went ahead and quote retweeted that by saying, and this is what sparked the fire with one simple choice of name to bring up. Between this and the toxic Cornette cult, these guys don't get the adoration they truly deserve. The diehard Elite fans are phenomenal and get why they're special. But there's a huge chunk of fans that fail to give give them the credit they deserve. Give these guys their flowers.
True.
And that's when Jim Cornette entered the chat. And I'll try and turn on my brightness as to why. Hopefully, I'm not going to butcher any more of these. Geez, Matt, I could understand selling your soul for rock and roll, but selling your soul for Adderall? Question mark. Even you have to abandon your principle. Even if you have to abandon your principles and verbally fillet these childish cretins for your check, leave my fans alone. It's not their fault. Tony's not paying them enough to lie. I'll stop it right there because some things that are a couple of things, not nothing, just one thing on what Jim Cornette says and the way he's typing, the way he's acting. He types as if, and he throws around these jokes as if everyone knows his inside jokes, as if everyone listens to his podcast. I'm not going to throw stones. Our podcast, this thing is only 30 subscribers deep, and most of them are me. But it's your landscape is only 300,000 subscribers on YouTube. It's very, very niche. Even as big of a number that is, it's still a very small number in the whole entire world, in the whole entire landscape of even the wrestling realm. So, yeah, your inside jokes and like selling yourself for Adderall on the outside looking in, you probably don't know. He's just alluding to Tony Khan because he always talks about how Tony Khan's he's this, that, and the other. He's got ADHD, he's got ADD, he's taking Adderall, he's taking cocaine. So, and again, an old timey like selling your soul for rock and roll, but you're selling it for Adderall. You sound like an old man. You sound like an old man that shouldn't be on Twitter. And again, it all sparks from Matt Hardy may or may not know. Maybe he just wanted to just.
But then see, at this point, Matt doesn't need to reply to Jim Cornette.
Fair.
But this is where it just gets out of hand.
Yeah. And then he quote retweets, "Geez, Jim, haven't sold my soul, sticking to my principles and telling truths." feel morally obligated to do right by my friends, although that's probably foreign to you. I earn a check because I'm great at what I do and still employable. Keep on seeding dissension amongst fans with your shtick. It's too sweet.
Hmm.
And I'm kind of in that bubble too. I'm a follower. I follow Matt Hardy on Twitter. I follow Brian Last on Twitter, and I follow Jim Cornette on Twitter. So I was in
So you were
full.
seeing all of
Yes, I was in
it.
full. I was in all of this. I was all wrapped up in this. Couldn't get away from it if I tried. Uh, but that's kind of what I was leaning towards. And I look when stuff comes up in the wrestling world, starts to trend simply because like, wow, I can't wait to hear what Jim Cornette's going to say about this stupid shit. And that, sometimes I'm in that same boat. I want to listen to his opinion. I want to laugh. And I ended at that. I don't take his word as gospel as some of these fucking fans really truly want to. If you take everything that Jim Cornette and Brian Last say as must be truth, as like
The end all be all of
his
wrestling.
fantasy booking is the best fantasy book. That's essentially what we're all doing as fans and podcasters and wrestling journalists. We're just fantasy booking, and he's claiming to be the best fantasy booker in my mind. And sometimes he's not. He's very much out of touch with a lot of his takes. So if I just go in and I sometimes again I'm sometimes trouble to this too. Put up a podcast a little too long. He puts up a 4.5 hour podcast sometimes. I'm not listening to all that, so
Yeah.
I'll go in on YouTube and I'll get the clips that I want to, and I leave it at that. I don't listen to the stuff I don't want to, and I listen to the stuff I want to. Uh, and again, don't that should be a word for anybody. For Meltzer, for Brian Alvarez, for Jim Cornette, for Tony Khan, people that take if they want to take his word as gospel. No one in the wrestling industry should like be your overlord, your savior. Have a mind for yourself, my guy, at all
Hmm.
times. Again, I might be a Stan or a Mark, and everything that MJF and CM Punk end up doing, I'll probably end up saying is the truth. But like I said, when it comes to these reporters and these podcasters, I don't live and die by what they do and say. So no one should really be like that. And you look really silly when you reply back to me like with a bunch of silly shit. So it's all over the place. I can keep going on back and forth, but then that's when Brian Last enters the chat, and essentially that's where I kind of fall off. He needs to stay in his lane. I would read these tweets, but we'd be going on for a couple more hours on this one. He just calling him names, and he's Mr. Asshole to you and toxic.
Huh.
So just buzzwords and stuff like that. And Brian kind of, some people are like, oh wow, he power drives him. He says he's saying that Matt Hardy hasn't done anything of note or importance, and just like, oh, do your best thing, tag in Jeff right now and try and battle me on this Twitter or whatever. But again, when you look into the idea and the lens that Brian Last hasn't really done anything besides be a podcast host and a jumping off point for Jim Cornette, a guy that only stays relevant if he complains about wrestling to date. So
Hmm.
Jim Cornette is nothing, and Brian Last, realistically, is nothing without the wrestling that is currently going on today. If you're like I said, I've been listening to him for some time now, full length podcast. Like I said, I kind of dialed it back because he's just all over the place sometimes. Like I said, I can't sit through a 4.5 hour show sometimes. But oh damn it, I lost my train of thought on what I was going to say on that one. Uh, yeah, at the end of the day, Jim Cornette and Brian Last, they rely on the wrestling that is today. They can't sit there if they were they're already bleeding into questions that they've heard and answered multiple times over. These are just fans that are coming back like, oh, Jim, tell that one about shit stain again. Tell that one about how Vince Russo fucked everything up again. We want to hear that one again. They're on that. If it comes to original programming from Jim Cornette and the Jim Cornette experience or the drive-through, they're gonna be fucked. So they can sit there, they can do playbacks and watch old wrestling matches and do play-by-plays with that. I'm sure they'll have some sort of audience for that. But at the end of the day, if they stopped talking about AEW, if they stopped talking about current wrestlers like that, they wouldn't have an audience. They wouldn't have a show. And they can argue back and forth like, oh, when we talk about AEW numbers on AEW topics, those don't do numbers. To be honest, not a lot of those videos do numbers when we're getting all down to the brass tacks of it. And again, I'm throwing stones. We only get fucking a couple, maybe 100 if we're lucky over here. But again, what my message was stay in your lane, Brian Last. And again, the biggest thing, my favorite part, Brian Last acts like he's this big name that needs to be known. Every, NoDQ.com, all these wrestling sites, wrestling purists referred to him as Jim Cornette's co-host. Not even his name. Never used Brian Last in the headliner. Always Matt Hardy versus Jim Cornette, or Matt Hardy versus Jim Cornette's co-host was the title of every single article about this every single time. My point. I think that proves my point right there. I'll leave it at that. So, again, no one look. I'll go back to the original point of no one looks good. No one's gonna look good at the end of the day on this. These were just a bunch of grown men bitching and moaning about really nothing, projecting, and just maybe some underseated argument that they wanted to get on each other from back in the day. But yeah, doesn't look good. I'm not really on anyone's side, but it's not it's not cancelable towards Jim Cornette or whatever, but it's not another. It doesn't look good. You look like an old man barking at the moon. So I've been talking a lot on this. Did you have any lingering thoughts? Anything from your end that I didn't really get to, or you didn't say during?
Um, I feel like you covered basically everything on it. I just saw bits and pieces of it on Twitter the other night. I didn't see the whole conversation, so
Yeah, and again, it ended sort of, and then Jim Cornette again, because God forbid Matt Hardy has the last word. He goes, "I'd like to thank Brian Last for carrying on the conversation from last night," and again, that sparked it all up again in between, and all over the place. Fun if you like the
sometimes just be
drama.
the better man and shut the fuck up.
Yeah, after a while, Matt Hardy did say, just, this will be my last message. And it was. So I'll give him credit on that one. And then, yeah, it's just old men thinking, the replies, thinking that they were like, shocking. Again, yeah, the idea of like shock jocks, they're more important than the wrestlers. That idea is just ridiculous. You are delusional, Brian Last, if you think you are very much. If you were you're not a household name. Matt Hardy and the Hardy Boys are a household name. Like
Yeah.
it's just as bad. Or if you don't like his wrestling and the stuff that he's been producing these past couple years, past couple decades, at the very least, the Hardy Boys are going to be well more known than Brian Last and his assortment of podcasts on the mothership. That's
Yeah,
that.
Matt
I
Hardy
got really
might not
nothing
be
else.
the best lately, but I mean, you can never take away what he's done for the business in the past years. So, I mean,
Yeah.
him and Jeff and Edge and Christian and the Dudley Boys literally like made this like did the crazy STLC match, and like they are some of the originators of crazy shit like that.
Inspired tons of generations of wrestlers that followed after them. I mean, they've not only that they've worked with those wrestlers, they still work with those wrestlers, and those wrestlers still want to learn from Matt Hardy. So it's clear that Matt Hardy still is respected in some sort of capacity on the wrestling side.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
one message I saw with Brian Last, like trying to disrespect Matt Hardy, saying like he's not useful backstage and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, like Matt replied and was saying like, yeah, like a lot of people still like being around me, like, and you're just an asshole. Like you don't know any, like
Yeah.
you don't know
It,
anything.
it's kind of, it is true. Like if Jim says all the time, he's like, if I wanted to be in wrestling, I would be in wrestling in some sort of capacity. But I'm an old man, this, that, and the other. But I'm like, I'm always on the side of like, if someone called, I'm sure you would be there lickety split. You're probably dying to be in the business in some sort of way. But I think he's projecting in a lot of ways.
Hmm.
It doesn't look good. Again, doesn't look good. Yeah, that's about it on that one. I think that might be about a wrap on this whole thing, on this whole episode. If you're good on everything else in between, you got anything else? Anything else?
No,
Anything?
I feel like that's all I think that's all the topics. Oh,
AL took a 2-1 lead while we were talking. That's about it. Like I said, that's about it on my side. Wrapping her up. Check, please. Thank you very much, everyone, for enjoying. Like I said, maybe the go home is just like I said, enjoy your time, enjoy everything else in between. I don't know. Hopefully you caught up on some sleep. I don't know. It was a fun weekend, fun day, very eventful. Can't thank the Jacobson family enough again, like I said in the beginning.
yeah.
Yeah, that was great. Like I said, just thanks again, everyone tuning in. Thank you, Alan, for tuning. You better be taking your notes. Thank you, Troy, for always tuning in. He'll be clocking in. He'll be rocking and rolling with the Kentucky updates of course, when football season actually picks up. So be sticking around, be tuning in for that. When the message comes in, we'll know. We will know. Again, tuning in for that. NFL divisions coming up next week. Breaking down all those. Join me on the Friday live show. I'll be breaking down, some more wrestling news and sports stuff. Dark Side of the Ring reviews coming back. There we go. I had a break on that. I think that's about wraps it up. Like I said, check us out everywhere. Like, subscribe, follow on the Twitter, follow on the YouTube, like and subscribe there. Everything else, long-winded way of saying thank you very much. Enjoy your time. Take care of yourselves and each other. See yous.